Hi, Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about phones and when it is appropriate to use them. Raphael, welcome back.
Oh, hi again.
Hi. Glad that you came for a second one.
Yes, I'd like to say sorry because I left without saying goodbye, but because
Oh,
the
that's
connection
okay.
here was not good.
Yeah, no worries. I totally understand. Things happen.
Okay.
So, you have lots of time to study today. That's nice.
Yes, I think I'm lucky because I'm at work and I have nothing to do. So
Wow.
yes, I can work. I can study here while I'm here at work and I completed my tasks.
Very nice. Very cool. And do you have any goals? Are you studying English as a hobby, or do you have some kind of ultimate goal in mind?
Not just because I want to. I think it's important. I was a teacher. I was a math teacher in high school 2 years ago, but thank God I don't teach anymore. Uh, yes, it's hard to deal with teenagers, and I can't stand them anymore because they have
Yes.
a bad behavior. But about me, I am studying languages just because I want to. I think it's entertaining, and when I have the chance to travel abroad, I want to speak for myself. I don't want anybody translating things for
Mm.
me or interpreting. I think it's uh, I don't like it. And sometimes people make jokes about you, and it happened to me. And people got surprised because they were not expecting that I could understand English.
Yeah, it's a surprise. Being in Brazil, usually I just expect that nobody speaks English, and every once in a while someone surprises me. So you have to be careful about what you're saying if you're whispering
For
about someone.
sure, for sure. I was in a hostel and it happened. They were
Oh, that's
talking about
terrible.
my group, and I say, "Oh, don't think that I cannot understand what you're saying because I can, and you're very rude." Something
That's
like this.
terrible.
It was awful, but it ended well.
Well, your revenge will be knowing enough English to show them that you're not uneducated and you know what you're doing.
Yes, because they think that black people are not high educated, but sometimes we prove them wrong.
Very true. Well, that's a good enough revenge in itself.
Yes,
Very nice. Well, I'm glad to have you with us.
thank you.
Felipe, welcome to class.
Hello, Michaela. Thanks.
Good to have you back as well. And what about you? Tell us about your goals in English.
Uh, I don't need English in my work. I work in a national company, and we don't work with uh, translator or these things. I study English because I think I need to know the most important language in the world.
Wow, that's pretty high praise, calling it the most important language in the world. And why do you say it's the most important language in the world?
Because I don't remember the statistics, but I think the English is the most speaking language. I don't think if you learn Chinese, but I think Chinese is not most speak. I think English is most speak. And I want to learn this because with the internet now you can learn about many things with
Mm-hmm.
websites, free courses and these things. But the most part of these courses is only English. And I think it's
Yeah.
important to know this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I I feel sometimes that I'm lucky because you're at an extreme disadvantage if you can't understand the language something is written in. And when I have to navigate a website, or if I watch a YouTube video or something in another language, most of the time I really have no idea what's going on. It's pretty
Yes.
tough. So glad to have you with us. And Rafael, did you have a question?
Yes. It is a question about languages. I
Hmm.
have a friend from California, and he helps me a lot with my English because he works as an interpreter
Hmm.
in the courts in California,
Ooh.
and he speaks Spanish fluently. And now he decided to learn Portuguese, and he helps me with English, and I teach him Portuguese, and it is good. And something that he keeps telling me that is American people don't care about learning different languages. They don't care about learning Spanish or Italian or any language. Do you agree with it?
I have struggled with that notion for a long time because I think there's a large percentage of the US who does not see it as that important. And I think part of the reason is because the US is a little bit isolated. We have Mexico below us, but Canada speaks English too. So many people see that there's not much motivation to learn English, but I definitely don't think that that is all of the US. I think it's a small portion of people, and I think that it's a very ignorant way to be. To think that learning other languages is not important. And in my experience, I've known many Americans who are interested in learning other languages, but I think in most countries you kind of have this mix, and the U.S. has a
Hello.
hi, uh, hi Abdul, welcome to class.
I'm very sorry for the noise that I just made. I was testing my mic.
No
So I'm very
problem.
sorry. I feel embarrassed actually.
No problem. I do it all the time. Or sometimes I'll mute myself and then I'm like talking and talking and talking, and the students are like, "Yo, we can't hear you, right?" So I
Yeah.
embarrass myself every day. Um, Abdul, we were just talking about learning other languages and what importance that has. But just to finish what I was saying that in the US, I think people are really lucky because many things are in English, so there's less motivation for them to learn, say, another language. And I think that's a terrible way to be. It's kind of like half and half. Maybe half the people think that it's not important, and the other half, I think, are educated enough to know that it is important.
Oh, thank
And
you so much
Rafael,
for sharing your opinion because
do you
that's
think?
what he keeps saying.
Yeah. I hate when people put that idea out there too. I mean, I know that on one hand, it's slightly true because many people don't see learning languages as important, but on the other hand, I hate it because it doesn't describe me, and I feel like being an American in a foreign country, I meet lots of people who are sort of angry with the idea of Americans, like that Americans are all capitalist and they don't care about other cultures and that kind of thing. And so for me, it's a little bit hurtful when people say that. People say, like, oh, well, Americans, they don't care, or Americans this or that. And so for me, I'm just kind of like, but what about me? I care.
Okay, sorry
No,
for
no,
saying
no,
that,
no.
but he's an American, so he
Yes.
was the one who was telling me that.
I think that it is true to a certain extent. I totally do. I think he's right. But it is unfortunate if people don't have that motivation. It's definitely unfortunate.
Okay, thank you.
And
And sorry.
Rafael, can you? No, no, no. Can you tell us a little bit about the Brazilian people? Do you think that they're motivated to learn other languages and other cultures?
Okay, let me be sincere. I think most of the people who are learning a second language are only motivated because of their jobs, because you have better salaries and you can travel, but not because you want to. That's my goal. I am learning a second language just because I want to, just because I think it is interesting to when you travel abroad. But the main reason for them because I want to make money. And yes, it is good and bad at the same times, I think.
I totally understand you. That makes sense. And Felipe, can you give us a little more information? What do you think?
I agree with Rafael. I'm a Brazilian too, and my goals is different of the most part of Brazil. What Rafael says is true. The principal goal everybody is because the job to want better salary. But when I say my goal is because I want to learn the language for read books and make classes in websites and these things only for my improve my education. I don't need because my work now. Uh, I don't know the day tomorrow, but I think this is my principal goal.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that you guys are motivated by love for language in addition to it being an asset, a skill. Abdul, what do you think?
Uh, I will talk about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn English to improve, to continue my master study in the US in computer engineering, and uh, sometimes I find it very hard to learn English by studying grammar and this formal way. Find it easier if you start to talk with other people in English and try to make it as a, can I say, get it as a, I don't know how, but by experience, you know,
Mhm.
not by studying or memorizing things.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Mhm.
different whether if you're studying a textbook versus having a conversation.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. And Obaid, welcome to class. Glad you returned.
Thank you, teacher. How are you?
I'm doing really well. So, before we get into the actual subject of this class, we were talking a little bit about the motivation to learn other languages. So, can you tell us a little bit about your motivation or the motivation of people you know and see?
Yes, of course. Really, I tried to learn English before 2 months or three months. For I want to continue my study English because I study designer website and computer science. Uh, I want to speak more English with a native speaker, but here in my country, we didn't have more people to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Just the the Fairblink website, the best way to learn English with native speakers. Yes,
All right. Thanks, Obaid, and it's good to have you here today.
thank you, teachers.
Christina, give us a little more information about the reasons you study English or the reasons that people from your country study English.
For me, I like learning foreign languages. I study Spanish as well, and I really like it. I like English, and I got used to learn it so much that I cannot stop doing it. And I think knowing English um, helps me when I travel abroad, for example. I can communicate with people easily, and I think it also gives um, more more opportunity to find a better job. And I need English in my job. In the future, um, I want to teach Russian as a foreign.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I've just finished the course of methodology of teaching Russian, but I have no idea how to teach it.
That's exciting.
Just want to start to try, and I think I will like it. And so I need English.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
And, oh no, I just broke my jacket. Oh well. So to start the class and start talking a little bit, have a discussion about when it's appropriate to use phones, I'd like you guys to turn on your YouTube functions on the left of your screen. It should be a red square with a white triangle in it. I'm going to play a video for you guys. It's a comic video that has a little bit to do with our topic of phones today. So you guys will watch it and then we can discuss a little bit. Everyone ready? Hope so.
Yes, we are
All
ready.
right. Okay.
Hello, teacher. Can you hear me?
All right. Everyone watched it and heard it? No problems with the audio?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. And let's get some opinions, starting with Aka, since you joined our class right before the video started. Did you get to watch it?
Yes, I could. I
And
did.
what did you think?
Yeah, kind of, how can I say? I don't know what does it call red, kind of color, like dark. That's an impressive kind of tool.
Yeah.
And this kind of video, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
funny,
really
those
good,
colors.
yeah.
Awesome.
Kind of visualize, kind of keeping up our
Mhm.
social media, yeah. That's
Mhm.
fun. Oh, yeah.
All right. Abdul, what did you think of the video?
Mm. They have a point because that's a problem we are facing now. Even with my family or with my friends, everyone looks when everyone looks at his smartphone or his gadget,
Mhm.
we lose the social that we had before.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Felipe?
I love this commercial. I see one time. I think it's very really what the made the cook want to send for us. I read one time. I don't remember. I think 2 months ago, an article about this, and science says in the future, a long future, the smartphone will be part of our body
Ooh,
because
scary.
yeah, Yes, I see a long future, no, not now, because our body is start to modification for a new century, and the smartphone will be part of this new century because
Mm.
this modification of not our genetical, uh,
Mhm.
but it's only I think of this. It's not. I don't know it's true or not, but I think it's interesting this.
Yeah. Right now it's science fiction, but in 20 or 30 years could be real.
Yeah, why not? We are very dependent of this smartphone now.
Mhm.
Imagining in the future be more.
Mhm.
Mhm.
All right. And Obaid, what did you think of the video?
Really, really, I can't watch this video before.
Oh, well, I will put the link in the chat box if you still need it. So you didn't get to watch it?
I went to the links.
Mhm.
Now I click the link. Maybe Nick ask next guys. Then
Yeah,
yeah, then train for me.
I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, in the meantime, Harry, welcome to class. Harry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I am watching the movie, the link.
Okay.
Okay.
Take your time,
Okay.
and I'll come back to you for an opinion in a second.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, while they're watching the video, I'll ask you guys, what is an inappropriate time to watch your phone, to be on your phone, texting and calling? What do you think is an inappropriate time? Abdul, go first. Can you give us an example of an inappropriate time to be on your phone?
Yeah, when someone talking to you and you neglect him and start looking at your gadget. Yeah, it's kind of
Definitely.
rude, actually.
Does that happen to you? Middle of a conversation, people are looking at their phone?
Actually, I did it many times, to my friends or my relatives, and I don't feel good after that and
Yeah.
what happens,
Yeah. I think we're all a little guilty here.
Yeah.
Because I see other people do it and I think, oh, that's so rude, that's terrible. But I do it too sometimes.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
All
Happens.
right. Aka, what do you think is an inappropriate time to be on your phone?
Yeah, maybe the talking face-to-face situation in a restaurant or a cafe or something, and yeah,
Restaurant and cafe, okay.
especially browsing the mail or something shortly is okay, but sometimes it takes very long time. It is very kind of uncomfortable, and maybe probably I that maybe I or other person might begin to use their mobile phone or smartphone as well to kill time. Yeah, maybe it is commonly happening nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Felipe, what's another inappropriate time to be using your phone?
I think when you talk with someone or you go hang out with someone, you can see your smartphone, but what's happened with WhatsApp? It's a sick of century, and I heard sometime, I don't know if it's in Unistate, has a bar when who see first smartphone pay our account. I don't know if it's I see one
Pay
time
the
in
bill.
internet. Yeah, pay the bill. I think this is in Unistates. I don't remember. I
Yeah.
agree with this because we lost we relationship.
So there
Yeah.
should be some kind of punishment for people who are on their phone too much.
Yes, and has people prefer to pay bill uh, what not see the smartphone.
Yeah, and Rafael just put a little story in the chat box. He said that he does what you were talking about, that
Yeah.
everyone puts their phones somewhere and the first person to check their phone pays the bill. It's a steep punishment, but a good one.
It's a good rule.
Definitely. All right. So, Harry, did you watch the video?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think?
It's a good idea. It's really good.
So, what do you think is an inappropriate time to be on your phone?
Inappropriate, what does this word mean?
A time when it's not acceptable or not polite to be looking at your phone or on your phone. So the situation is not okay.
I think it's okay to go on the phone. I have no place where I wouldn't let people go on the phone. It depends how the people how they speak. Maybe it's a very important call, and you can make it in few seconds because you can say, okay, no, it's not the right place, and when you avoid to receive the calls, you can lock your phone or mute your phone, your phone bell. Yeah.
Do you ever think it's disrespectful when someone is on their phone? Like if you're talking to them or if you're trying to have an intimate moment with someone and then they get on their phone?
Not really, because sometimes it's funny because the people have funny ringtones on their phone, like famous songs, and at the doctor, I went to the doctor, and there was a woman in the waiting room, and she spoke like she were at home, and it was really funny what they speak private. They speak private things in the official location. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
I know what you mean. It's funny sometimes. You hear these conversations that maybe are in a weird place.
Yes, and when I won't listen to this conversation, I can go out. Not the other person has to go out, because when I have a problem with this conversation, I have to go out. It's not their problem,
Yeah.
it's my problem.
Yeah, yeah. Funny things happen.
Nowadays we have this technology, and I accept it. I learn to accept it.
All right. You might have the right path there because it seems like things are not going to change anytime soon. Phones are here to stay.
Exactly.
Obaid, did you get a chance to watch the video?
No, sorry, teacher, I can't see. Just black screen. I make it reflect many times this page. I can't see.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about your ideas then. Tell us about when you think it's inappropriate to be on your phone, or is there an inappropriate time to be on your phone?
You mean talk on the phone? This the way. This is not the best way. When you want to meet your friend in any place, and that's better on the talk on the phone, because you see his face and you can't catch many meaning what he said. Okay.
So what about some of the other situations we talked about at dinner or when you're having an intimate moment with someone and they check their phone? Does that make you angry?
Yes. When you stay with my family, when my son or my wife playing this phone, I am angry because we have here rules. When you enter your house, put your phone in by the door.
Mm-hmm. Good
Yes,
idea.
yes.
Good solution. Do you guys have any other ideas for solutions? I know we mentioned people paying the tab at a restaurant for the first person who checks their phone. That's one solution. Or like Obaid said, leave your phone at the door of the house. That's another solution. Can you guys think of any other creative solutions to this cell phone problem? Think about that for a little while, and if you guys come up with anything, let me know, because I'm also searching for a solution. Okay, I'm going to put another link in the chat box for you guys, and this one is comments. It's comments on a question made on a news site. So we'll be reading parts of it together. And there are other opinions people have had about when it is appropriate to use your phone and when it is not. So, the article we're not going to read right now. We're going to read the comments. But the article is called "What to Do with Your Smartphone While You're Having Dinner." And if you scroll all the way down, you'll see that we have some interesting comments at the bottom. And the first one is by John Pope. And I'm going to ask Abdul to read the one by John Pope for us.
What to do with your smartphone while you're having dinner? This is a very, very easy question to answer. Turn it off. That is what voicemail is for. Growing up in the 1980s, not too long ago, we were not even allowed to answer the house phone while eating dinner. Again, that is what voicemail is for.
Thank you very much. And let's read two more before we discuss a little bit about this. The next one is Lane Cantor. Aka, will you read about Lane Cantor for us?
Okay. I'm all in. Turn them off at mealtime, at social gatherings, in class, etc. Basically, if you can't enjoy your live roles without the virtual context, there is dysfunction. They are supposed to support your life, not become it. Clearly, this is outside of emergencies.
Thank you very much. And we're going to read one more before going on. Let's have, we'll split it up into two sections, I think. The first paragraph and the last paragraph will be Felipe. And Harry, will you read the middle paragraph for us?
Okay.
So paragraph number 1 in Moltar is for Felipe.
Okay. I agree that phones hold no place at a dinner table unless you are expecting a call and you have informed everyone at the table that you may have to answer an incoming call during dinner.
Thank you. Harry?
What I have come to do with my family and friends is everyone that has an electronic device has to surrender it and put it in the middle of the table face down with silent, vibrate, enabled, or simply powered off. No one is allowed to touch the phones. First
Thank
person.
you.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off there.
The first person to touch their phone picks up the tab for the whole table.
Excellent. And the last one back to Felipe.
It's really easy to not mess with your phone if there's some type of incentive attached to it.
Okay. Thank you. So these first three comments are all pretty negative, like phones do not belong at the table, right? They said pretty drastic things like if you find that you can't let your phone go, then there's some kind of problem. You have dysfunction. But earlier, talking a little bit, and Harry voiced the opinion that it's not something that's going to change, so really what has to change is people's opinion. Harry, what did you think of these comments? Harry, are you there? Harry, you're muted. Are you there?
This is Harry or Missy? Missy.
Well, I was hoping Harry would respond because he has a unique opinion on the matter. But if he's not available right now, then Obaid, would you like to give us a comment? Do you think these opinions are valid? Do you think that it's an addiction and dysfunction, or do you think it's normal?
This is, I think this is idea is very well when you dinner with your family, keep keep this phone in your pocket and keep it silent. Really, we have here small machine. Get all phone on the silent.
All right. And how about Felipe? Do you have an opinion on these? Do you think that these people are totally true and right, or do you think that they're a little exaggerated?
I think it's true, but the exaggerate because we are too much addicted in smartphone. We need extreme acts to resolve this, and I think
What
this
kind of extreme actions?
turn off. You get out the table. And in the past, we don't need this. Now we need a severe punish for this. Not severe like death, but severe for a social place. Oh, you see a smartphone, get off the table. We don't need this. But our addiction is too strange for smartphone. It's like a drug.
Yeah, it is kind of addictive at times.
Yes.
Aka, what do you think?
Yeah, kind of. I don't have smartphone, so I rarely touch my mobile phone actually. But yeah, I definitely addicted to the internet or mouse potato. So yeah, kind of gadget can be addictive. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
why
kind
do
of
you
man.
think that smartphones are so much different than just normal phones?
Because it's easy to access the internet, or web or app. But a smartphone, not a mobile phone, is not so useful for accessing web or app. And my contract is a kind of very basic contract. So if I access the internet, I have to pay a lot. So yeah. So I rarely connect internet from mobile phone. And
Yeah,
I
that's a pretty
really,
good punishment. If it's expensive, people will stop, right?
yeah, that kind of, yeah. That's why I don't addict to the, mobile phone. Probably, yeah.
Makes sense. And Abdul, what do you think on these first three comments?
I think all of them are right, but what has really happened is that when you are in a meeting, you have to turn off or put your phone on mute. But when you are with your family or with your wife, actually don't care. And as Harris said, it's okay to check your messages or check your notifications, but what really bothers when you start to chat with someone else and forgetting that you are with other persons on this table, you
Mhm.
know, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. Sometimes my sister or my friend will be talking to me, and I'm saying something that I think is really important, and all of a sudden I see, my sister is on her phone like, uh-huh, yeah, totally, totally, I get it. And I'm like, you're not listening to me, and that just makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Harry, are you back yet? Are you still
Yeah,
there?
I'm here.
Ah, okay. All right. So, Harry, you voiced an interesting opinion, and I think it's also very valid that people sometimes get upset about where others are using their phones, but it's kind of something that's common now. So, things are changing a lot. What did you think about these first three comments? Are they extreme or are they true?
Uh, Firstly, I want to ask you, what would you do when I would take your phone away? And I say to you, Michaela, now you go on your
Yeah,
car,
and
you have to pick up
we
another person about 300 kilometers away. What are you feeling without your phone in your car?
Well, not having my phone makes me a little nervous sometimes. I feel like, oh no, what if someone is gonna call me, or what if somebody needs me? What if I get a message and I can't respond because I forgot my phone? It's an anxious kind of feeling.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a sign that it, for me, it was a sign that's not normal. So I noticed, I noticed it when I forget my phone. I feel anxiety inside of me, and I said, "Oh, I have to change something." And I went to the pool. When I go swimming, when I go to the pool and I forgot my phone. Oh, I feel very nervous, and I thought, "Oh, it's over. Can happen," and I can't call no one. Maybe I feel nervous. What can I do? And I said I have to train it. And now I'm so happy when I when I have my phone at home. I say, oh, at home it's okay. I go to the pool. I have to do nothing. And when I have a problem, there are so many people around me. They will help me. I don't need the phone to that I can call someone because people are always where I am, and I don't need this kind of phone, and it works. When we go back many years, there were no cell phone, and the people also become help from another person in a emergency. So I think
Mhm.
I'm so happy that I don't need the phone in my life.
Mhm. And do you think that if people keep their phone with them at all times, that it's a sign of dysfunction and a big problem?
It causes a big problem. They notice it later. I think that it will become because I know it when I speak with another person. So I don't judge another people because I know how they feel when they don't have their phone with them.
Mhm. All right. So you brought up an interesting point, and that's the anxiety that people feel when they don't have their phones with them. Abdul, do you feel that anxious when you don't have your phone with you? Do you get nervous?
Yeah, I get nervous. I feel that anxious, and I panic actually. And sometimes I had to run quickly to my car or to trace where I have been to
Mhm.
search for my phone.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe because I have a lot of secret in that phone, and I have
Ooh.
my pictures, and it's
Yeah.
kind of my life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
an intimate part of your life. I
yeah.
totally agree. Aka, what happens when you forget your phone? Do you feel anxious or are you calm?
I feel anxious. Yeah, so I want to return my home to, to get a phone, and sometimes I did. Yeah, and maybe, yeah, kind of, yeah. Even though I rarely use mobile phone, but yeah, I feel anxious. Maybe one reason is there's no so many public phone, payphone nowadays on the streets, and another reason maybe yeah, maybe I feel isolated from the community or people, or I cannot call somebody so easily. Maybe that these kind of things causes my anxiety. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, we have such a little community packed into our phones.
Hmm.
Very interesting idea. And Felipe, what happens to you when you forget your phone?
It's like I forget my pulmon, my heart. I, uh, depends where I go. I come back to get my phone, or if
Mhm.
it's like, or if I go out for a few minutes, I don't care. But if I go to
Okay.
my work or other place, I come back to get.
Yeah, seems too important to leave behind.
Hmm.
All
Yes.
right. And Harry, tell us a little bit about the process. You said that before you used to get really anxious when you left your phone, but now you don't. So tell us, how did you go from being really anxious without your phone to being calm?
Mm, I have to trust myself. I have to learn to trust myself. So what will happen when you forget your phone at home? So you have the feelings while you are driving the car. So take a look on your feelings. What do you feel in your body? Maybe you feel, oh, it's getting warm. Your breathing is very strong. You can't breathe easily. You can uh, you can take a look on yourself, how you react when you notice it that you forget your phone, and that's really interesting. That's really interesting. And maybe it's not easily. I went to a professional person who knows very well about these problems, and she explains how it comes, and she says a smartphone is very, very usable. It's really wonderful in the way when you are not addicted to the phone, when you have no problems, when you don't feel anxiety, you can use it very well. And but I have to learn it right now. Maybe when I can send a short message, I can send an email over the iPhone or over my smartphone. I also like to use it as a normal phone, because today we have the SIP phone, we call it. It's voice over IP. So I use the Wi-Fi connection and make a landline connection, and it's very cheap. Sometimes it's free. So I use it very normal. Not I don't use it for Facebook to very much, because Facebook, it's too they make the companies, don't trust the companies, because they mix up the data, so I don't trust them so much.
All right, interesting. Thank you very much for sharing. And we're going to go back to the comments quickly. We have a few others that are interesting to read. So the next one we're going to go to is by Nicholas Gringro. And I'm screen sharing it so you guys can see, if in case you can't find it on your own. Abdul, will you read that one for us?
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Voicemail, turning your phone off. These are things young people never do. I don't even turn my phone off on an airplane, much less for dinner. I know this is semantics, but maybe putting your phone on vibrant or perhaps do not disturb for a hot date.
All right. So this guy's saying that he definitely does not turn his phone off for dinner or anything like that. And this is I think it's a pretty common thing to do for the younger generations. And I think there's a big difference in generational ideas. So let's hear from you guys. Felipe, what do you think is the difference between generations who grew up in the 80s and maybe 90s versus generations who are growing up now?
Is that a great question? I think because, for example, me, I'm 35 years old, 25 years old. I remember the time when we don't need the cell phone. And my brother, my younger brother, grew up in the new generation with mobile phone. And when I see him like addiction in a smartphone, I think how you can live while this. I always live while this. Now you can turn off for a second this. It's a complicated. It's a comparison, for example.
All right. Aka, what do you think about this guy who doesn't turn his phone off for a second?
Maybe it's up to person's choice, and nobody force this. At least if it is not dangerous, kind of. It's so maybe current kids grew up with mobile phones, so maybe they create their own manners in terms of using mobile phones. Maybe it could be different from our generation.
True, yeah. They're creating their own ways of being polite and impolite, and things are changing fast.
Yes.
Abdul, what do you think about the generational difference?
Yeah, there's a big difference, and I will tell you a story about my father. He had a smartphone, and my mother felt jealous about that he started using the technology, and when she found out he is interacting with other people on Facebook or because he is a writer, and she felt more jealous, and she took his smartphone, and said, "It's better for you to stay without this technology."
Wow.
Yeah, but for my niece and my nephews, they are using these things a lot more than us, of course. And yeah, I think it is the time of technology,
All right. And Harry, what do you think about these people in the new generation who don't turn their phone off ever? Harry, are you there?
Using your smartphone now.
Yeah, right? Probably. And Rafael, I know that you said you would not be able to participate, but if you have any last thoughts, you can voice them. Do you guys have any other comments before we finish up today? In the next class, we're going to be talking about the internet in a similar way. So we'll be having a conversation about how the internet has changed our lives and where it might go in the future. And we have an article to support our conversation as well. I hope to see you guys all in the next class, but if not, then I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for joining class today.
Okay,
Thank you
thanks.
very much.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.